Happy
Hey.
Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. We're live. This is a very cheers. This is a very impromptu live. I'm here and am joined by, first and foremost, by the incomparable Cat Young. Hi, Cat. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Good to
We've
see
got our
you.
vampire
Happy
goblets
Halloween.
that we're going to be sipping out of this fine Halloween. And we're drinking the witch a wine a red blend called the Witching Hour. So I think that's amazing. So yeah, so like I said, this is very impromptu. I don't even know if anybody's going to come in the live, but in any event, we come here to you today to speak with you about um, the most kick-ass Black women in horror. That's what we're here to talk about. So, and for those of you who are interested and who still read blogs, I did post a very in-depth blog post at www.coffeerhetoric.com where there's a really good and comprehensive list on there, and it's a follow-up to one I did in 2017, and I thought it was long overdue to do one for 2017. But before we start, Kat, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? And yeah, let's go.
All right, so lovely to be with you here today. My name is Kat. I have a travel and sort of lifestyle YouTube channel called the Cat Young Channel. So I really love traveling around the world and helping people to better understand how to navigate new places and to, I mean, seeing as we're living through this intriguing period in history, helping people to understand how to get the most out of where they live, whether it's, New York City, Connecticut, wherever. So how do you enjoy where you live, as well as how do you get the most out of vacations when you go a bit farther afield? So that's me in a nutshell, constantly trying to figure out how to travel. I love working with young people, helping them understand universities and how to navigate the university experience. So yeah, that's me. Very happy to be here.
Excellent. And hi, Universal Tea with Marie. Thank you for joining us. I hope you love horror films because we're going to be talking about that. So I've been hanging out with Kat this weekend, and Kat's not. I'm a huge horror movie fan. I love all things horror all season long, and yeah, I love the macabre. I love horror. I love the paranormal. I love it all. I wish it could be Halloween all season long, but unfortunately, the world is not set up like that. But I had Kat's really a good sport because I've had her. I kind of tried to ease. I've been easing her in to the world of horror. And she's been a really good sport about it. And we've been watching some really cool little horror films. We've been watching documentaries. We've even been watching some horror comedies. But what I want to focus on today is I wanted to focus on the impact that Black women have in horror films. And I will say, we've always been here. We've always been here, but we haven't always. Hey, Universal T says that her mother was a huge horror fan. Well, that's good to know. And I would love to at some point know what kinds of horror films your mother used to watch and what kinds of things, uh, how it impacted you and the way, and some of the things you watch today. But some of the things, we've always been here. Black women, we haven't always been centered. Sometimes we play the sassy sidekick friend. Sometimes the role we play, we might be here to kind of prop up the white, what they call what's known in the horror genre as the final girl, which is the last girl standing to face the big bad. A lot of the times, Black women will be used as a sassy friend or used to prop up the final girl, and a lot of the time she'll get sliced and diced within the first the first 30 minutes, sometimes less, of the film. But I will say we've always been here. A lot of people don't know that we've always been here. We've always been horror movie heroines, for better or for worse. But I will say, since Jordan Peele um, peeled some of our wigs back with Get Out, I will say that a lot of the industry finally had no choice but to stop ignoring our impact in horror film. So I feel like Jordan Peele kicking down the door and kind of scalping people with Get Out, it kind of elevated the visibility of Black people in horror. And I feel like all kinds of Black people, Black filmmakers, Black showrunners, Black creative who are into the macabre, we kind of breathed a collective sigh of relief, and we were just like, yes, this is what we were waiting for. And then they just kind of came kicking down the door, because what he did is it also created space and opportunity for them. So now you've got these all of this great work coming out of the woodwork. Some of it is sketchy and you're just like, I don't know about that. But either way you cut it, it's got Black horror writers and Black screenwriters coming out of the woodwork, and their work is finally being shown. But what I want to focus it on is the impact of Black women in horror. Kat, what do you think about that?
I'm down for let's do it. I think that, certainly for me, I remember watching things like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger, what is it? A Nightmare on Elm Street. So I have a great love and appreciation for horror movies, but I'm definitely the girl who watched Candyman during the day because I was too scared to watch it at night. I enjoy the shock value of horror movies, but I will say that this idea of there being a genre or a space for us in Black movies that we actually get to live through to the end, that these are stories that we write, that we produce, that we are featured in, that was kind of new to me. I had heard about Death by Temptation, but for us to watch it and then to think of when it was done, like, wow, and that's not even that, well, for me, depends on what children are watching this, but that's not that long ago, 1990. We were little when that came out. So, and to think about horror movies before that coming out that had us featured is exciting. So I look forward to having this conversation about Black women in horror films and where we fit, and where that has the opportunity to go. Yeah, I'm about that life. Let's have the discussion. Let's do it.
Excellent. So here I know, especially I will say one funny thing I will say about today is I was telling Kat that I love that Halloween. Um, what did the Ghetto Boys say in their rap song? This day Halloween fell on the weekend. Me and Ghetto Boys went trick or treating. Well, anyway, this day Halloween fell on a weekend, and I love how it fell on a Sunday, because you know how people, a lot of kind of churchy kind of people who do the absolute most, people in the church who love to do the absolute most, you know how they tend to feel about Halloween in general. Let me fix my little witch hat. And so you know how a lot of um, people who are so-called devout to love to do the absolute most when it comes to Halloween. And so I love that it actually fell on a Sunday, because they're probably shitting their britches. So I just think the irony of that happening is awesome. And I've been watching kind of like a lot of really great content on the history of Black people in Halloween. And it's almost like there's some history there. So, and also what I love, and I know a lot of people not don't just kind of scoff at the whole culture of Halloween, but I love how some people might scoff at just horror films in general, and I know some people they're either scared turned off or just like by Halloween, by horror films. And one of the things that I like about horror films, yes, there is a genre. There are some genres that are very off-putting. Like for instance, when you get into the whole torture porn aspect of horror films, I can understand how that would turn some people off because, it's just more there for the shock value. And that's the only value it provides. But what I love about horror films in general, for the vast majority of them, low budget, high budget, campy, lowbrow, highbrow, a lot of horror films provide very good social commentary about things like religion, gender, like sexism, like gender, um, immigration, all kinds of things. When you can get past all of the gore and the scariness of it all, there is some very good social commentary in horror films. Even if you look at the old horror films from like the silent film era, like one of the films that come to mind, I don't know, Kat, if you've ever heard of a film called by a Danish filmmaker by the name of Benjamin Christensen. He did a film called Haksan. If I'm not, I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know anything about the German language, but it was called Haksan, and it was based on a book, a screed, which I have, by the way. I have the book, which is based on a book called the Malleus Maleficarum. And what it was basically a book written by one of history's first fuckboys and incels. Those are my words, but let's keep it real. He was. The map was very misogynist. It was a very ableist treaty on witchcraft, and it was written in 1486. And basically, it was basically a set of and it was very anti-woman, and it was basically, it almost provided like a set of directions, teaching people basically how to um, marginalize, how to single out, marginalize, torture women, mostly suspected of witchcraft. So it basically, the Malia Maleficarum basically kind of uh, it led to the persecution and the torture of a lot of medieval and early modern women. So like films like that. And so Haxan was based, and it is a silent film. I believe you can find it on HBO. What's that new one called? HBO Max. You
HBO
can
Max,
find it.
yeah.
You can actually find Haxan on HBO Max, and it's based on the Malleus Maleficarum, and it basically it just kind of talked about, it highlighted um, just that whole puritanical kind of medieval hysteria surrounding witchcraft, and so a lot of women were getting tortured. It was just basically a lot of misogynist hysteria. So that's one aspect in terms of social commentary that horror films can provide, and you can't talk about social commentary in horror films without even mentioning George Romero, for instance. He featured one of the first black men, Dwayne Jones, starred in a horror film courtesy of George Romero with Night of the Living Dead. And in that movie, you had this black man, and I believe in like the if I'm not mistaken, in like the 1960s. He's like the
Yeah.
hero of the film, and he's taking the lead, he's fighting all of these zombies, only to emerge as the survivor, only to get shot down by a bunch of MAGA. I'm sorry, MAGA didn't exist then, but only to get shot down by a bunch of racist hillbillies and thrown on the pier of a fire. So when I say horror films, if you can get past the visuals and the surface stuff, it really does provide a lot of good social commentary. Even with modern horror films, when you look at the way historically women in general have been portrayed, but especially Black women, Kat, do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, to me, I think you dive into exactly. I don't know if you can get past those things. I think you dive right into them because they are. I mean, that is the thing that they're commenting on is this fear of the other. Fear. I mean, if you're coming at it from a white man's perspective, you are fearful that women will be empowered and will lead the way. You are fearful that foreigners are going to come in and take your jobs and your women. You are fearful that Black people will discover that they are indeed people, full-fledged humans, not three-fifths, and they will come into their own. And all of this work that you've had them do, they'll realize, well, if I've been doing the work, why am I giving you all my hard-earned energy and money? So it is just that sort of commentary that you speak of that I think is exactly what the appeal and the intrigue is. You dive right into it. You own the fact that all of these things that are problematic are in fact the thing that you need to like let it be what it is. So yeah, I think that horror films, the terrifying thing is that it's telling you a story that you're quite familiar with. It's just ripping it apart and showing you just how frightening it should be. It's taking it that extra step forward. So we're living it every day. We're reading about it in XYZ magazine or XYZ newspaper articles, or watching it on the news. But at least with this, the horror is quite visceral, whereas what you're seeing day to day, almost you become numb to it. So I appreciate that it's sort of like a bit scary because at least you get some entertainment value, whereas with the other, you're like, oh, I gotta live this day to day. So yeah, I think that the social commentary is incredible, and it's almost pleasant, strangely enough, with a horror film to watch it. We watched Spell last night, and for as much as I was irritated with the fool character who flew in his Cessna with his family and all their wacky accents going to Appalachia, what I thought was so intriguing was he's making all these idiotic decisions, but then towards the end, he comes into his own and he starts making decisions. You're like, oh, where you get all this energy from? But I mean, isn't that sort of like life? That's what you see in reality, like people like doing these things and sort of feeding into this bad system. And then when you do see people kind of reach through and make good choices and kind of stand out and stand up for themselves, you're like, why did it take you so long? But isn't that the reality of the thing, is that it takes a while for you to say, you know what, I do have rights. I do deserve to be treated just like anyone else. So anyway, I could easily ramble, but I think the thing that I love about horror movies is they are giving us these true to life tales. And the benefit is at least you get some entertainment value out of it. Whereas with real life, you just have to live it and hope that something good will come of it, right? So yeah.
Yeah, excellent point. So now, with that being said, when I first set out to feature Black women in horror, I did this list. I actually did it, I think, a little before to 2017, and then I ended up update. And I think when I updated it was in 2017. I can't remember when I first did it, but I updated. I made tweaks to my initial list in 2017, and I thought since um, the box office success of movies like Get Out and Us, I thought it was time to do one for 2021. And because since then, there's been some really great Black women characters in horror. And it also helped me revisit Black women from a lot of horror series from like the 90s and the early aughts that nobody really considered. So let's dive into this list. Some of this I'm going to pull from my current list, which you can find on www.coffeerhetoric.com. Read that, check it out. And some of these characters, some of this stuff, I'm just going to ad lib. But you know, let's start with sorry, I'm just kind of looking at my notes here. One of the first Black heroines in horror I want to start with, Kat, because we were watching this. I got you to watch this last night. Is Aja Cooper in the horror film Blackest Night, the vampire horror flick Blackest Night.
Oh yeah, but I gotta
Yeah.
rewatch because I got tired towards the end. But yeah, it was a great movie. But yeah, you
Yeah,
can't do that
it's a
after a
really
day
good
filled
movie.
with red wine and try and watch. But it was really well done. So I will
After
be
you still
watching part
refill
two this
with
evening.
red wine. But these vampire goblets are great, by the way. It's got a little suction thing on the end.
I
I'm
hope you share the
assuming
link. This is really great. I think in anything, especially for people who are trying to protect their bright pearly whites, like you can sip, you don't hit the fronts of your teeth, and then you have a little water to rinse it out. But yeah, like to prevent staining, these are phenomenal. So I love these, Tiffy. Great choice. Great choice. Tell the
yeah,
people where
and
they
then
can
they're
get these.
and I think the idea is for them to mimic like a heart and to make it seem like you're sipping like the blood of your enemies
Yeah,
from the
but it
heart
really
malt.
does well for your teeth too. So I think everybody should be getting them. But yeah, it's good for creepy value. But I'm like, my dentist would love these, so I should be telling her about them next time I go.
But the first movie I forced Kat to watch was well, I don't know if it's the first movie, but it was one of the movies I first that was her assignment. Is this new film called Blackest Night featuring a black actress named Aja Cooper, and Um, she plays a young teen, um, and I have to say, a lot in this day and age, vampire films are just kind of cringy. They're no longer good. They're no longer nasty. You may disagree, Kat, but I just feel like since Twilight blew up, it's almost like people felt like they didn't have to put any effort in making any great
I have to
horror
admit,
film.
I haven't watched any of the Twilight movies. I do confess to my uh, love of 50 Shades of Grey, so I know that might get some boos from the crowd, but I do love
Shout
that
out to
spin-off from
Universal Tea
the
with
Twilight
Marie,
fan
by the way.
fiction. Huh?
No, I would say shout out to Universal Tea with Marie, by the way, for checking in and engaging with
Yes,
us.
thank you so
I'm
much. I
sorry.
love that you
Go
were out
ahead.
there in the chat, like giving us energy. Thank you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but yeah, I did never watch Twilight, but not because I thought it was bad so much as it just didn't do it for me. Like I want to be scared, and there was too much drama, and the kids were falling in love in real life. And I'm like, I want people like I need like messiness. Like when I think of horror movies, I think of not that I'm happy about any of the things that happen behind the scenes, but like Poltergeist. Like you want something that is viscerally like disturbing to you, or like I just want to be scared. Candyman, like you scared to look in the mirror and say Candyman 3 times, like like that's what I want. And Twilight was just so much like, and I love stories. I'm a big Hallmark fan, but I'm like, I'm not trying to do that when I'm watching. If I'm watching vampires and stuff, I want messiness. It could be funny, but I want messiness and blood and gore. Like, and that was not the impression that I got from watching any of the like trailers for it. So I didn't ever really watch it. Like, so
And
but
they were
yeah,
glittering
I
all
just
over
thought
the
that's
place.
not, is that supposed to be scary? Is that what the kids
They were
think? I don't
glittering
know.
all over
You've
the
seen
place.
them.
They were glittering all over the place. One, I will say,
I like Hallmark movies for teens.
even though the center, we'll get back to our mission here of highlighting Black women. But I think one of the last good, most recent, well, not most recent, but one of the last good, really nasty vampire flicks I watched was 30 Days of Night with Ethan Hawke, about these people in, I believe it was Barrow, somewhere in Alaska, where every year their town is dark for 30 days, and how some really nasty vampires got wind of that,
Yeah.
how the town kind of stays dark for 30
But
days.
that's what you
So,
want from a horror film. You
yeah,
want them to prey on your innermost. Like that is such an unusual. Like it's not unusual if you live in Alaska, but for the average Joe or Joanne, like you are like, wait, what? There's 6 months of night, and what does that mean? And people are afraid of what happens in the dark. And you imagine like crime and bad things happen at night, and the mystery of it, and that's what you want. Like I want to be scared. Like
mhm.
or I want them to talk about why you were scared, even if it's supposed to be like a spoof on a horror movie. Like that's what I'm looking for. So
Yeah, absolutely. But that was the nastiest vampire films that I remember, and it's because it's almost like now people don't even make any effort anymore. And I tried to watch that new vampire film. on Netflix. I believe it was called Night Teeth, if I'm not mistaken. It
Yes.
and I wanted to support it because it had Latinos in it, but I'm like, this movie is fucking terrible. I can't. I think I got 30 minutes in, and I was so disappointed. But anyway, so we're gonna talk about Aja. I hope I'm saying her name right. Aja Cooper's turn as a young, dark-skinned black teen coming of age. In post Katrina New Orleans, and she's navigating around a bunch of, and you don't get very many vampire films where a dark skinned black woman is the central character. And so she's navigating around a lot of issues like her burgeoning womanhood, her trouble, trying to reel in and establish a connection with her troubled mother, absentee mother who lives outside of the home, um, connecting with her schoolmates, and colorism. So I'm saying this may not have been one of the greatest horror films, but it was a cute one. It kind of, I feel like if you liked, what's that one? There's one on Netflix called, I think Vampires in the Bronx or something like that. The Vampires versus the Bronx. There's a really good one on Netflix about the Bronx and vampires. So if you like that one, and if you liked Attack the Block, which is one of my effing favorite sci-fi slash horror films, then you'll probably like Blackest Night. And it centers around the young black girl, and she's navigating around all these issues, and on top of that she's having to ward off vampires, and the vampires in a post-Katrina neighborhood, they're preying on the community's most vulnerable members, those who are drug addicted, homeless people, and people of that nature.
And
And
I like the fact that they're following, so you have this young black woman who she's not light bright, she's not fair skinned, she's dark, she's clearly unambiguously black. And on top of that, she's not the coolest dark chick. She is that rando girl who is out there and hanging out with the Mexican American kid who speaks Spanish at home. And so, and like you said, she comes from a troubled home, and she's not like, there's not a way for her to hide it. Everybody in the neighborhood knows that her mom is dealing with like a drug addiction. So it's very interesting that they pick this character who is troubled and clearly she's not in the in crowd. She's not the cool it girl. Her friends, her surroundings, nothing about her. She comes from the projects, Ombro, which I don't know if it's a real project in New Orleans, but like she comes from everything that could be other. She is that. On top of it, she's a dark black girl. So, I like that they make her the lead. And like you said, they're talking about issues where the preyed upon are the commonly preyed upon in day-to-day society, the homeless, those who are almost invisible in day-to-day society. So I think that's very interesting that the director takes that on and does such a great job with it. So yeah.
absolutely. And I like how they do tackle, and like I said, for a film like this, because I saw some complaints on Twitter where people were like, really, is this what you're going to say about colorism? But I feel like for what it is, you can't expect a vampire film, to delve deeply into these issues. And like I said, you've got a black woman for the first time being centered in one of these types of film. That's number one. And number two, I'm going to say, at least for this film, as kind of somewhat cheesy as it was, at least it did somewhat of a better job tackling colorism than some things I've seen on TV. And what I love, I don't know if you saw this part, Kat, you probably fell asleep, but Universality with Marie, you can find this movie on Amazon Prime. You'll find it on there. It's really good. Um, but what I loved about this film is one of my favorite parts of the film is how Shauna, they come up against this vampire, this kind of friendly faction of vampires who's fighting the nasty faction of vampires preying on the community. there's this guy, he's like an 800-year-old vampire named Tunde, and then he's just like, oh well, he's telling Shauna, well, because her brother kind of feeds, and he's been socialized to also view darker skinned as ugly, and he's teasing his sister and calling her Wesley Snipes and all of these other horrible names. But then
I
Tunde tells
forgot
her,
about it.
oh
Yeah.
well, your sister's very beautiful, she reminds me of a woman in my village who she was like so beautiful, everybody wanted her, and she was black as night. And he kind of confirms for Shauna, your skin is beautiful, and on top of that, the more melanin you have as a vampire, the easier you have it in the daylight. So that was one aspect I liked about that movie. I'm going to play a little quick trailer. Let's see if I can.
Definitely, yes.
I wanted to play a little quick trailer. Let's see.
Yay.
Or a little clip. Can you see this?
Not yet, but I hope it's coming.
Okay. I always
I want-
have the. Okay,
I
let's
want
stop.
Universal Tea with Marie to be able to check it out and see.
Hold on, I want to play a
think I
little
like it.
clip here. Here we go. Here's a little clip.
Maybe we should just go. Are you sure dude even stays here? How did you even find out about it?
Just a hunch, I guess.
A hunch? Shit. Probably just rat, right? Maybe we should just go.
Jeez, throw you off
So that was fun.
Yeah, I must have fell asleep on that because I'm like, wait, what? I'm scared on it myself right now.
Even though it was
Oh,
kind of
God.
dark. Even though it was a wee.
Oh, cringing for him to click audio options. Sorry, guys.
Sorry about that. Even though it was a little dark, you couldn't really see anything. But that was just a clip from that movie. And so the next person I wanted to mention from my list, it's not an old character, but it's a character that deserves celebration. She deserves to be celebrated. I don't know if you've ever watched this series, Kat, but it was Rutina Wesley's portrayal of Tara Thornton on the HBO series True Blood. And she played the character from 2008 to 2014. And I wanted to celebrate.
Uh-oh, I think we've lost Tiffany. Hold on, she's coming back. Hold on. All right, the Halloween Queen is coming back shortly. I think we just lost her for a second.
Okay, sorry.
There we
Sorry
go.
about that. But I wanted to talk about Rutina Wesley's character as Tara Thornton in True Blood, because I feel like her character was woefully underused. She was kick-ass, but sorry, Siren City.
The joys of city living. But at least we know we're near a hospital.
Yeah. It was Siren City. But I wanted to highlight Tara because Tara Thornton, I feel like showrunners dropped the ball with her character because I feel like they missed out on an opportunity to truly flesh it out. And I just felt like flesh her out to her fullest potential, particularly after Tara became a vampire. And I feel like I'm thinking this through. I feel like they did her character wrong. They subjected her to a lot of kind of gratuitous trauma and just violent misogynoir for no reason, just to pedestal Suki Stackhouse, who I know the series was centered around Suki Stackhouse, but let's keep it real. She was annoying. Universal T with Marie is cracking up. But she was annoying. And I felt like Tara Thornton was subjected to a lot of trauma and misogynoir, just a lot of unnecessary stuff for no reason, just to kind of lend credence to the main character. And a lot of the times, black women, black people, but black women in particular tend to fall into this trope in movies known as the quote unquote the tragic Negro, or not even the tragic Negro, the sacrificial Negro, where they sacrifice
Sacrificial for sure.
the sacrificial Negro, where they have to sacrifice my body, mind, and soul to save the main
Save
character.
the pure whites. To
Yeah,
save
the main character.
yeah,
And I
to make
felt
sure
like
that they survive through to the end, because they're going to be the ones who either carry the human life forward or something, but
Mhm.
they're the innocents that must survive no matter what. But we can
Exactly.
die. We can die if they will only live. It's sad, but yeah.
Exactly. And I felt like Tara Thornton just went through a lot of things. And then on top of that, she didn't even get a proper send off. For she was on the show for all, for the entire series, and then they just gave her a horrible off-screen death. And I just felt like she deserved better than that. I felt like once she became a vampire and she was just like, fuck y'all, I'm a vampire, you know, I felt like there was so much potential there that they didn't really flesh out properly. Let me see if I can find a cool little, if not, then that's okay, a cool little clip of Tara Thornton as a vampire. I have a GIF, but I just really don't want to do all
This
that.
is
But I
random.
felt
Why are you
in the
looking that
way
up?
she even became a vampire, she was fucking shot in the head, saving Sookie Stackhouse. Like Sookie Stackhouse was the intended victim, and Tara Thornton literally threw herself in the line of fire and ended up being the one who was shot in the fucking head. She had to have her head blown off, sacrificed herself to save Sookie's freaking life because Sookie could not stay out of trouble. So the way she became a vampire was Sookie begged Pam, a vampire named Pam, to turn her to keep her from dying. So that is how she even became a vampire. So this is after the fact. I'm going to play this clip. I hope I don't get in trouble.
Well, then I have a question for you.
Insert copyright disclaimer here, because no copyright infringement intended.
And it's
This
a
is
short
for
clip, right? So I think it's okay.
commentary. This is for commentary, entertainment, and education. Okay, so let's see if I can play this clip of Tara Thornton. This is after she became a vampire.
Tastes like sex, right? I know. I'm up here.
Tap? Tap? It's me, baby. Your mother. I know who you are. Oh. I wasn't sure if you would. How could you, Tara?
What?
How could you do this to me?
I didn't do shit to you.
This is a terrible situation you put me in.
I'm a minister's wife now. I can't have any daughter of mine being a vampire.
Why are you here, Mama? I came here to tell you that from this day forward, you are dead to me, baby girl. I came to say goodbye.
Oh no. You be seeing me again. I ain't afraid of you, child. I got Jesus at my back.
Well, la-di-da.
I'm going.
I always
Okay.
find these things problematic. If you have faith, if you genuinely believe in God, you don't need to make announcements and pronouncements about how wonderful and faithful you are and how people are going to impede upon you being close to God. You don't need to do all that. If you got it, you got it. It's like when people have money. You don't need to tell everybody. You just have it. So why I need to come in there and tell you, I'm going to have to let you go because now, you're going to mess me up. So I'm going to have to cut you out. Why is you here, mama? Go. You don't have to announce. This is not an airport where you have to announce your arrivals and departures. Leave. Ugh. Anyway.
The interesting thing about
Messy.
Sarah Thornton's mother is for years, she was alcohol addicted and she was a very neglectful mother, actually. And the only reason why she became like this churchy first lady is because Tara spent a lot of her time trying to help her mother get clean. And then she ended up cheating with and essentially marrying a preacher, a minister. And then she became this sanctimonious first lady. And so that's why when she came into the bar after Tara had been turned to give her that kind of self-righteous speech, it was like, well, all the things you put this young woman through throughout her childhood, you were a neglectful mother, and then you come in all self-righteous and newly saved after cheating with the minister. That's how she snagged it. So I found that whole dynamic interesting. So that's why I was just so frustrated that showrunners did not flesh not only Tara out a little more, but they didn't take the time. Fuck y'all. These webcam people, how they didn't flesh that out more. Sorry, I'm blocking. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to block some shit. Okay. So, how they didn't flesh the character out more. Hold on. Kat, can you talk a little bit more? Because I think I might need to come out and go back in.
Okay. Yeah, no. So I have not watched the show, but just from that small clip, I think it's just very interesting how you have someone coming in and trying to make all these proclamations about how good and how just they are. And this girl is now a vampire. And I mean, how insecure do you need to be? Again, if you have faith and you believe, then you don't need to come in and kind of bring someone, let them know, I'm not going to deal with you anymore. Well, then no, I don't need you to come talk to me anyway. Very, very strange. But yeah, I have not watched True Blood, but I think it's interesting that they would bring a character with so much depth on the scene and then not give her more space to take to take more of a part in the show and in the storytelling. But I guess if you already have decided that these are the key characters that you want to focus on, then your whole goal is to build a story that makes these key characters the where all the energy is put, and these other people can be interesting, but not so interesting that you spend an episode or two on them. So I take it, Tiffani. Look, now I'm saying all this again, acknowledging that I did not watch the series all the way through. Did they ever do like you see in some other series where they gave her a full episode at least, where they kind of talk about her story, who she is, and where she comes from? Did they ever do that with Tara?
Wait, say that again.
Did they ever do that with this character that you were just talking about from True Blood, where they gave her an episode maybe to kind of talk about who she was and where she comes from, like a solid where they focus on her? Or
not one where she was the focal point.
Yeah.
They only through flashbacks and stuff.
Which I always think is unfortunate when they miss that, because I think that's a true opportunity with the series. Even if you don't give them a whole like 3 episodes, like an episode where you focus on that character and give people a bit of insight into why do we care about this? Why is this person a part of this anyway? Why are they such an integral part of why the lead is growing or changing or has survived. Like, I think that's unfortunate, but
Hi, Universal T. Sorry, I'm listening because I was trying to block some spam, but also
I
in the
saw,
chat,
yeah.
I think they're gone. But at the same time, Universal T with Marie, when you say what is the movie again? If you're wondering about the vampire one we were talking about, it's called Black as Night. And you can find that on Amazon. And I think you'll like it. It's cute little
Are
kind
you
of.
able to put comments, Tiffy, so that way she can see like the different movies that we mentioned at the end?
Say that again?
Are you sorry, yeah. Are you able to put like a list of the movies that we talk about so she can see all of them, good, bad, and ugly?
Well, the list is on my blog, coffeerhetoric.com.
Okay.
But I can put a little banner.
Like a short. Yeah, like a little
Here,
banner maybe. Just
so that
way.
movie is called Black as Night, and you can find that on Amazon Prime. The one we were talking about before True Blood. Black as Night, Amazon Prime. Can you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Let's
Yeah,
scroll it at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black as Night, Amazon Prime. That was the movie beforehand that we were talking about. Before
we started talking about True Blood and his character.
Is that the one with the stripper? Oh, Universal T with Marie. The one we're currently talking about with the
True Blood.
That's True Blood. Yeah, that was True Blood. Yeah, that one, and that was the scene that you saw that I showed. That was Terrence Thornton after Pam turned, because after the old vampires turn, the baby vampires, they become like their kind of vampire parents. That's why Pam was looking at her all proudly when she was cursing her mother out. So that was after Pam had turned her, and then she brought her back to the vampire bar to work, and then that was Tara dancing after because at first she was a bartender, and then she started doing pole work and stuff, and then so that's where that's from. I know it's been a while since True Blood has been on the air, so every now and again I like to hate watch it. So I hate watch because a lot of the things on there got on my nerves, because a lot of that stuff I forgot about too, like a lot of those scenes. So yeah. So let's see. I
wanted to ask, but I don't know if it counts. So does a show like Love Country count as horror, as a horror series? Because
I promise you we'll
it's such
get there.
a fantastic and well-written show. Okay, I just want to make sure. I want to mention because I have questions and I love, like, that was one that I didn't expect to. I thought I would like it, but I remember you told me to watch it. Then you were trying to tell me something, and I couldn't even concentrate because it all blew up.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Trust, I promise you, it's in my notes. It's in my notes. We'll get there, I promise, because that's one I really want to talk about. Okay, we'll get there. So the next kind of horror movie person I want to talk, the Black woman in horror that I want to talk about in a series that's not new, and that's not currently on the air, is Kat Graham in the Vampire Diaries. Now, Kat, you probably haven't seen this series either on the CW, but if anybody was done dirty, it was Kat Graham in the Vampire Diaries. And so we love, yeah, don't worry, we'll get there. And don't even get me started, Universal T with Marie, about them not renewing Lovecraft. Don't worry, I promise that's on the agenda. We will get there. Which means I need to speed this up. So Kat Graham in the Vampire Diaries, she played her role. She played a powerful black witch named Bonnie Bennett, and she was from a very strong matriline of black witches, black and Creole witches. And the Vampire Diaries also take place in New Orleans, or in Hollywood's version of New Orleans. and it's a vampire series with werewolves and all that. And so Bonnie Bennett is from a strong line of black witches, black and Creole witches, and I feel like unfortunately the character was also much like Tara was. She was written as the sacrificial Negro, where she put her life, body, power on the line to save a lot of the selfish um, other supernatural people on the show and her friend. And I feel like uh, it also didn't help that Kat Graham, the actress, on top of the character being poor, having to go through all that, the actress Kat Graham also experienced a lot of racial microaggressions from some of her cast member and from some of the crew members on the show. So none of that helped. That's why
Question: do any of these people have money now? Who? Because I'm trying to remember. I vaguely remember the Vampire Diaries being popular, but so was Cat Graham being picked up? I mean, not that that should justify it, but I'm always like, who are these people? Are they successful now? These people that tried to push her down and subjugate her. Who were these people?
Well, the ones that were mean to her, not really, because Kat Graham stays booked and busy. But I just felt like on top of her having like a frustratingly written character, and then on top of that, she had to experience, the racial microaggressions from some of the cast members and crew, right? Exactly. And so you don't really hear from a lot of them. But let me play a clip. I don't know who this person is, but I'm about to use your clip. Just a few minutes of it. But I hope this is a good one. This is Kat.
Bennett, huh?
This is Bonnie Bennett in action.
Rams is telling me I'm psychic.
Why don't you tell Stefan about your family? My family came by way of Salem.
Do you have any family from Salem?
When I say the word witch,
Salem witches.
what pops into your head?
Actually, I do.
Our ancestors lived in secrecy for over 100 years.
I am well aware of your gifts, Bonnie.
What do you know? It's a small world, right?
What are you doing with that candle? I want to get to the fun part.
They're the architects of the supernatural.
It's not meant to be fun.
It's tough, Bonnie.
It's real and it's serious.
You can literally feel nature.
Your magic comes from the earth. It's pure, and you must understand it before you practice it.
Salem witches are heroic examples of
Wake up on fire recently?
individualism and nonconformity.
Oh my god!
You have no idea how dangerous you are.
You know I can start fires with my mind. Fires kill vampires, right?
The vampire-hating Bennett witch. This spell asks you to tap into dark places. Places of temptation. Places you can't handle.
I'm gonna save the world.
Bonnie, listen to me. You are the key to everything.
She's a Bennett witch, Catherine.
I'm a Bennett witch.
You turned your back on me for 16 years. You have no idea what I can handle.
It doesn't matter if he's an original.
What have you done?
I can take down anyone who comes at me.
Gotta say I'm Team Bonnie on this one.
You're still willing to do whatever it takes to kill him.
I think I was born with these powers so I could float feathers and log candles. There's a reason I was called to do this.
The girl who fought Nicholas so bravely.
If my friends' lives are in danger, I'm not gonna stand by and do nothing.
And everyone's too scared to stop her.
I'm not. I want to fight.
And you are?
I know who I am now. Town witch.
Well, let me tell you something, Bonnie Bennett.
Thank you for protecting me.
Do it and I'll take you both out.
You'll die.
I don't care.
You're stronger than they are. You're afraid of the
Okay. And yeah, so that's the gist of it, because I'm going to play that. But yeah, she was a very strong black witch from a very strong black bloodline. And just Jasmine Guy was actually played her grandmother. So she was from a very strong line of witches. But just the way the characters were her character was written, and how it's that witching hour, man, is making me all tongue-tied. And then on top of that, in her real life, having to go through what she went through. And I noticed how in Hollywood they don't a lot of white showrunners and things don't really know how to flesh out and write black witch characters. But yeah, and so now a lot of the times when people ask Kat Graham about Vampire Diaries reunion or doing something Vampire Diaries related, she doesn't really look fondly. She doesn't look back fondly on the series, and I don't blame her. And she's got a lot of other awesome things going on. So good for her. So moving on, because we'll get to Lovecraft Country. I want to talk about Lupita Nyong'o. She's pretty much kick-ass in a lot of things, but so it didn't surprise me that she did good in horror films. And the two horror films I want to talk about is her demanding role in also another Jordan Peele production, Us. Did you see that one, Kat?
Yeah, I saw that in theaters. I really liked it.
And what are your thoughts? I just felt like she did that. I would think that when you're playing a dual role like that, especially the doppelganger, I feel like she did an amazing job. It was next level. It was memorable. And I feel like, that kind of tone, that guttural voice tone she used for Red, she introduced us to a condition called spasmodic dysphonia. So I think she did an amazing job in that. So what do you think?
No, I thought she did a beautiful portrayal, and it's so. I thought what was so scary was you're seeing this, this person who's not able to speak her truth. I mean, isn't that so true to life? Like, you go through life and you have to be polite and say what must be said, but even when she wants to voice out, like, this is not right, this is not real, this isn't happening, watch out, look out, she can't say it. There's no words to come out. Like, this disorder that you're talking about. I'm like, oh my gosh. I think that was, I'm watching in this dark room with my friend, and she's like, girl, this is not anywhere near as scary as I was like, I know it's scary. She was so much like, no, it's not. I'm like, it is though. Like, because what scared me so much is you're watching these people, like, everything is fine and dandy, but it is absolutely not. The real people who are like really suffering aren't able to say what's going on. They're not able to tell you the truth. And and I think it was just that moment when I realized in the movie, like, wait, what? Everything's not okay? Like, wait, who am I really supposed to be cheering for? I thought I liked this family. I thought these people were okay. So yeah, I think I thought it was really well done, and I think she's a phenomenal actor. And always full of surprises, that one. Like, just when you think, you're like, okay, like, she's beautiful, so she's a beautiful model. Okay, she's great. Then, okay, she's fine as an actress. She takes it that next step. So I think there's a lot of depth to her abilities, and you can see that in the way she played that role. So beautiful job. Like, her facial expressions, and fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did.
Excellent. Insane. And she also did a great job in the zombie horror comedy Little Monsters. I don't know if you saw that one, but she plays a quick thinking kindergarten teacher who
I don't think I saw that.
That one was cute. Now, a lot of people might consider that cheesy as well, but I thought it was cute. She plays and like I said, she plays a kindergarten teacher who takes her little students on a field trip to a farm, and then it gets overrun by zombies, and she's got to think quick on her feet and kick some zombie ass. So she did really good in that one. So check that out.
I'm sorry, them children might not make it if I had to be the school teacher. Oh, y'all, we going to the thing. Some zombies come out. The babies. They're small, they're delicious.
Here's a trailer. I'll play a quick little trailer, but it's a cute film. It really is. It's a really cute film, and
Universal TV, where you should check it out. I think Us is good, girl. You can watch it. Just watch it during the day.
I thought it was cute.
Lieutenant, sir, why are we here? It's zombies again.
Fast ones or slow ones, sir?
Slow.
Thank God they're slow.
Next stop, Pleasant Valley.
We having a super fun time on our trip.
I want you all in the line in front of me, and away we go. Why are we stopping?
There must be something in the way.
What is it, Miss Caroline? Are you okay?
Yes! Don't be scared. Who remembers how to play tag? Well, those funny-looking people out there are just... You have kids out here!
Oh my god, I don't give a shit.
What's happening?
Die.
Are we gonna die, Miss Caroline?
No! It's part of the game. The zombies are not real.
But fuck they're not!
It is a bit scary.
What are we doing with Skid? What's the song we can sing?
If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. We can't stay here indefinitely.
I'm not going anywhere. You're bigger idiots than I thought, and I thought you were both the stupidest people I've ever met.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
My job is to keep you safe. Stay here until I get back.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Fuck!
That kind of behavior is unacceptable.
Next time.
Max is 5 years old. And if you can't use appropriate language with a 5-year-old, I'm going to have to ask you to disinfect the tractor tree and wait for us back at class.
If you're happy and you know it,
Okay.
I heard of this movie, but I did not know it was this. I like saw 2 snippets of her in a pretty yellow dress and all that, and then that fool who is always funny, that dark-haired dude. But no, I did not know it was that.
Yeah,
that looks hilarious.
It's cheesy, but watch it. It's really cute. Okay, moving down the list. You're gonna like this one, Kat. Not everyone on this list is a heroine. Okay. We've got to highlight the villains, the villainesses as well. And I want to highlight Loretta Devine's character, Eloise. And if you're in the Black community, she would probably be known as Miss Eloise in the movie Spell.
Hell yeah. Oh my gosh. That's a crazy, like, you think she's a church lady, but she is the Hellraiser. Oh my gosh. Extraordinarily written. University of Marie, you need to watch that, girl. I was watching that movie like, wait, what? You know, it's disturbing. You're looking at it, you're like, oh, that's my auntie. And you're like, ooh, I hope it's not. I hope it's not.
I'm sorry. Sorry, that made me laugh. Sorry, that made me laugh. Because you're like, that is my auntie. Because you do look at her and say, that's my gran or that's my auntie.
Because, you know, as a deep South Southerner, you're like, oh, Amy. Oh, okay, that's sweet. Because, you know, homegirl, because what is this lady's name? I know her. She's in so many movies, like Waiting to Exhale, an extraordinary actress. She's so good and so she is everybody's Southern Amy. She is my aunt, like XYZ. She is it. But then, woo, when she goes off the script, you are like, wow. Like, you know, you were looking purely at Satan. Like, because she's so good at smiling with evil dripping out of her fangs. Like, she doesn't have fangs, but you see them. Like, woo, she's hateful. She's hateful. And I'm just like, you know how, you know a movie's good when you sit on the couch like, you fighting, trying to get everybody free. So yeah, that was good. Watch Spell. It's fun. It's fun. You want to be mad at it kind of horror. I like that. That was good.
Oh, let me unmute. Absolutely. And it also delves into Black folk magic, or AKA hoodoo. So it also, and if you're a Black person from the South, it delves into hoodoo and it's really good, and effigies and all that fun, dark, Black, historical, folk magic stuff. And I just think I feel like Loretta Devine did an amazing job in that.
Thank you, Loretta Devine.
She was just so very, her character Eloise was so very nice, nasty. But it was creepy at the same time. It would be like, Mari Hardrick was laying up in the bed in the attic in her sewing room saying, "Oh, Miss Eloise, I'm in pain." And she was just kind of looking at him like he was pathetic and like, "Oh, honey." It was just kind of like this really hilarious kind of nice, nasty creepiness.
She's everything that I remember about my granny and my aunts when you think you tricked somebody, but they knew before they came in the room that you were lying. Like, you think you done tricked them and I didn't eat what I was supposed to eat, or I didn't fix this, or I messed this up, and I'm gonna hide, I'm gonna cover it with a towel or do something stupid. Like dead man looked fine. He was laying up in the bed all muscular and sweating and stuff with old weird swollen up foot and doing stupid stuff. And like he kept thinking he was fooling somebody, and she would come in and smile. But then she would do them roach eyes, like look at him, look at the look at him, look at the window. And she knew he'd already been out doing stuff he wasn't supposed to do, but he thought he was fooling somebody. And it's that moment I remember before you were going to get a whooping. You think you've tricked somebody, but when you look at the woman's face and you see that look in her eye where you're like, oh, she's already figured this out. You just like, I just wanted to like just kill him for her because he was so stupid. So, but like,
sometimes I root for the villain too. That's hilarious.
Absolutely. But he does such a good job because you're so angry with him, but you still care. Like, it's such a well done film because sometimes some characters are so dumb that you want them to die in 10 minutes and you can't even hate watch it. But like, I'm mad at him because he's fine but stupid, and she's so smart and she lets him do these stupid things. She keeps giving him room to hang himself so she can torture him more. It's sort of like, not nice, but like when you do things to animals to have them struggle because the meat's supposed to be more tender, like that she's like doing this stuff to let him struggle because he's gonna be tender for whatever she's trying to do to him later. Messy. You need to watch it. It's fun. But yeah, if you weren't there, Tiffany, I would say to anybody who likes scary movies but not quite, I would watch that during daylight hours or with all the lights on in the room.
Yeah, and it delves into all that. Like I said, I don't fool with. When I say I don't fool with, I mean I don't take lightly, even though it's a fictional film. But just the thing it's based around, I don't take any of that personally. I don't take any of that stuff lightly. Okay.
Don't play with it because I don't believe in it, but I promise you this: I won't be building no weird effigy in no mud with no weird eyes, talking about some that's me and poking it in the stomach and stuff. Like, people, I don't believe in it, but I'm not playing with it either. No, man.
Here, should we play? And after we play this,
please play a clip.
After we play this clip, then maybe we'll take a quick 30-second break and then come back with the list.
There we go.
Oh, hold on. Share.
Yeah, please focus on Auntie. Because people need to see Auntie. Everything else they can figure out, but Auntie, yeah, we go. Oh, beautiful.
That y'all come for, whipped up special for you today.
Special, y'all gonna see out that good work. And we're using animal parts tonight. But when that blind boom comes, we gonna fix you up real good.
Yes, what about you, Lorraine? Is you alien? Come on up here.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Fix that old tomcat. Take his tongue and put it in Lorraine's booger teeth, and then save those eyes for me later.
Because, yeah.
You are here.
Speak, woman. Speak up now. Say the words.
Come on now, that damn cat ain't got your tongue no more.
No name more.
Like his tongue.
She's gone now. We ain't done yet.
You stupid self.
I need you to take those cat's eyes and put them into Julius's booger teeth. Now, Julius, if you had eyes, you'd be able to see. We're gonna fix that. Girl, get those
trigger warning
and bring them here to me.
Have mercy. Have mercy.
Lift your head for me. That's good, Julius.
Trigger warning. Ugly eyes.
Oh,
Now tell us, Julius. Tell us what you see.
Now you got the spook that sat by the door looking up at the fools standing up on the doggone roof. Look at him, look at him. Dummy. Your big black face staring through the window opening. He ought to look at you. Stupid.
Okay.
Just stupid.
Yeah, so you get the gist. So that was a really good character.
Come on.
So on that note, let's take 30 seconds to refill some wine, eat a couple chips, whatever.
Cold water.
We will be right back. I'm going to go ahead and do this one.
I'm not in the mood. Trying to make moves. Trying to make moves. Bitch, I'm too smooth. I'm not in the mood. Trying to make moves. Trying to make moves. Got milk, bitch. Got beef. Got steak, ho. Got cheese. Great A-ho. Not lean. Got me A1. Sauce, please. These heifers got nothing on me. Stakes high, need a side of collard greens.
Oh, and we are back. Okay, and we're back from that was a quick 30 seconds. So now that we are back, I know we always say, look at that dummy run. I know, right? It's like it's easy to be on the on the opposite side watching and say, why y'all so stupid? Get out of there, run. But but it's like, what would I do if I was in that horror film? I would like to think that I would also take off running, and I wouldn't be sitting there for too long watching it all. But no, I get so frustrated. Horror films have got to be the most anxiety filled type genre to watch, because you look at people and you're just like, go dummy, don't go down there, dummy, what are you doing, why are you watching them people putting cat eyes in that old man? Yeah, because personally I would like to think that if I saw someone putting cat eyes in some old man, I wouldn't sit there watching it. I would be like, oh hell no, and I would take off running. So so on that note, let's go to another villain. Another villain I personally like to feature is Octavia Spencer's, I don't know if you saw this one, Kat, but Octavia Spencer's performance, and just water break. Octavia Spencer's, and I know this movie got mixed reactions, but I think because Octavia Spencer is such an amazing actress, she could save any film, even a campy horror film. So I would like to feature, and she played a villain. And it was good to see her do something a little different and to step outside the box and to do something different. So another one I want to feature is Octavia Spencer and Ma. And I'm sorry, I
want to watch that. Is it any good? I actually do want to watch that.
It's very campy. And like I said, some the premise alone will kind of make you kind of side eye. But I feel like because when I think about that movie, I think about
cheering going to a party and the black lady always hosting them. She managed
and
I think
about the memes. The one in particular, when that movie came out, the one that the fuck them kids meme. But anyway,
I don't remember that meme.
She did an amazing job. She plays like a plain Jane kind of frumpy divorce veterinary tech, but she's fucking psychotic, and she did such an amazing job in these films. And she plays this character named Sue Ann, and
did her kid get killed or something? Like, why is she mad at all them
She's
cheering?
kind of in a psychological horror thriller where she plays this frumpy black woman who enacts revenge on because she suffered a trauma through high school. Like her classmates in a high school she suffered a humiliating trauma.
Okay,
And so
a bit
she
like
sees
Carrie.
the opportunity where she sees the teenagers of the primary person that put her through the trauma.
That's right, they're
She
kids.
seizes the opportunity to use that man's son and his friends to plot her revenge on them. Hence the teenagers in her basement partying. And she also she mistreats her own daughter, but still because she hasn't recovered from the trauma. So that's a very interesting movie. And like I said, the reactions are mixed. But I think Octavia, because of her acting prowess, she saves the day. So I don't know. Let me play I'm just kind of cackling because, like I said, I think about the
frat parties we went to. What?
No, I think about I'm thinking about the memes I saw, and so let's play I'm trying to share screen. I want to play a clip here. No copyright intended, y'all. Hold on.
Are you going to meet a boy? No sex for peace, okay?
Whoa! Daddy came to party, let's get filthy! Got you sipping on it, got you talking crazy!
Excuse me, can you buy some booze for my friends and I?
Not interested.
Please?
Hell.
Whoa! There's my girl.
This never happened, okay? Thanks again for doing this, man. You guys want to party like rock stars? Follow me.
Let's get drunk!
The bar is open. What do you think?
We don't know this chick.
It ain't much, but it's all you.
Cool basement.
You're free to do whatever you want down here, but nobody go upstairs.
This is so sick.
Welcome to Mars.
What?
Love Ma. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
How did you get our numbers?
You know where the party is. Those earrings are beautiful, Maggie. You got a sweet mama, huh? Who are you with?
Just some kids from school.
You have a boyfriend. Men are dogs.
There's something off about Mama.
Seriously? She's homeless. And her basement's pretty much the best drinking spot in town.
We can't go up there.
Shh. Thanks for these earrings.
What happened last night?
You don't remember, do you?
Are you guys mad at me for something?
I don't want to hang out at Ma's anymore.
Don't make me drink alone. Don't make me drink alone.
Max, I'm going to meet someone.
Nice to meet you, Maggie.
We went to high school together.
Why's my son
You smell just like your daddy.
spending time at your house?
Hey guys,
That bitch is crazy.
probably something wrong with me. How does it feel to be alone?
What are you doing?
This is the most fun I've had in a long time.
So yeah.
This shit. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to watch it. I know I was looking forward to that forever, and then I remember being mad because that was at the beginning of our current global crisis, where I'm like, I gotta pay how much to watch this? So yeah, but I think now it's probably already included in one of my plans on Prime or some such.
Yeah,
So,
I believe
yeah,
it's
I
on
need to watch that.
Prime. It is on Prime, I believe.
Because that
And
looks
so,
messy.
and it was really
Did
good to
she
see her
make
in
out
that
with that little boy?
context.
That boy's like
Mhm.
10 years old. I
What
mean,
happened?
you know, obviously he's not, but I'm just like, wow. She takes it. If any woman of any color said to me, and when I was in my teens, come play in my basement, but I'm not friends with her child, already we are in problems. How? But the sad thing is, I am confident that for as much as this is fictional, people would do the stupidity. Why would I go to some random old broad's house? Like, she's not old, but if I were 17, she'd seem ancient.
Well,
Why would
when
I go
you're
to her house
teen,
and drink?
when you're underage teen
Stupid.
looking for some free booze, you do all manner of stupidry, I'll call it. Before I
I'm
move
glad I
on,
waited
get
until
into
college to
these
start drinking. That just seems idiotic.
wonderful
But I can't
spider
wait to watch
earrings.
it.
Cat, stop talking and look at
Oh
my earrings.
yeah.
I
Get
need to show
closer,
off
get
my
closer.
spider earrings.
They are luxurious and
Take
decorative.
them off. Aren't these
They are
great?
so spooky. So spooky.
Creepy.
Creepy crawlers. Ah, yes. Oh, look at that. Creepy crawlers.
Had to show those off. Sorry. But anyway, let's move on to series, another horror series. Let's tackle who's scared. They're so cute though, Universal Tea with Marie. Let's move on. Let's move back. Let's move on to another series. The Black Women of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I don't know, and this is the one on Netflix, not the one with what's her name?
That gal from Nickelodeon.
Yeah, her. Not that one. The one from Netflix.
The actual scary one. That
Yeah,
young
it's
gal
the
from Mad Men, the daughter. I like
yeah,
her a
with
lot.
Kirna Shipka, but we're not
Yes.
talking about her. We're gonna
I know
highlight the
you
Black
guys see the thing,
women
but I like
of
her
the
here.
series, Chilling
Yes.
Adventures of Sabrina, because I feel like they didn't get their due, and they were some of the more compelling characters on the show. It's like all of the compelling characters on the show, none of them were the titular character, Sabrina. Unfortunately, and that's usually the case in a lot of these series. It's like the supporting characters are always the more interesting ones. And the one I want to highlight is actress Jazz Sinclair, and she played Roz, and she played like this bookish, socially aware teen, Roz Walker. And she started out as Sabrina's ride or die sidekick, but much like Rutina and Kat Graham, she was used to kind of prop up the white female protagonist, but she ended up kind of coming into her own as a character because she discovered there was a story arc where she discovered from her blind grandmother that she had a gift as well, that she was cunning, aka we call it cunning, but she was a seer. She discovered that she was a seer, and that her ancestors got the gift because they were supposedly cursed, as they were cursed by witches for crossing them. But I feel like Roz's gift was anything but a curse because she used it to not only empower herself, but she used it to keep herself and her loved ones out of trouble. So I don't know if you've ever seen that series, Kat.
Yes, we watched it together. You showed me I think I saw like the first season and I really enjoyed it. But sadly, I'm confident that there was a lot of wine involved, so I don't have as many details as I would like on the series. But I do remember, was it like a brother-sister duo kind of?
No, no brothers.
But long and short of it is, I do remember the young people in it, but I don't remember all the details. So don't look. As we say in the South, don't give me the line. But I will say I do remember liking the characters a lot and thinking that the storylines for them had promise. But yeah, it was probably not the most in depth that you could get with each of them, because it was really focused on Sabrina and how she was trying to get to what she needed to get, right? Like
wasn't she trying to become? What was
She
the whole
was,
thing with the first season? Remind me.
just pretty
Refresh
much
us.
summed up Sabrina getting into trouble and scrapes and being selfish and using her friends to help her get out of the scrapes. But
Yes.
let's check out this clip of Rosalind tapping, no copyright infringement intended, y'all, whoever y'all are, tapping into her power.
His friend. We've met like 5 or 6 times. We went after the pagans, you handed me a sword. Sorry, I don't remember.
There is no need to be rude, Shelley. Je teste. Come. Begin.
The High Priestess. Six of Cups. The next two are Seven of Pentacles and the Lovers. Then Justice, the Hermit, the Empress.
How can this be a mortal? Rosalind is a seer, Shelley.
Okay, so that was Rosalind in action, working with the other two Black characters I'm going to mention. So that was good stuff. And then the other Black woman of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina that I'd like to mention is the incomparable Tatiana Gabrielle, who plays Prudence. First, she started out as Prudence Knight because she was an orphan. And then she found out that she was the illegitimate child of the high priestess of the coven, the Church of Night, aka the coven she was a part of. So then he legitimized her. So then her last name became Blackwood. But the incomparable Tatiana Gabrielle as Prudence Knight. And I personally feel like she was the unsung star of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And yeah, I said it. I feel like she stole every scene. I feel like her portrayal of a young cradle witch, of the young cradle witch Prudence Knight, was amazing. I feel like even though showrunners set out to make her as a very unlikable character and as a very nasty bully and adversary, I feel like it kind of backfired. And I feel like she stood out the most as one of the more interesting characters on the series, and also Black women were able to, they had another symbol to cosplay. Like they cosplayed the fuck out of Prudence Knight, and I thought that was awesome. And I feel like yeah, she stood out as one of the stars. And I think after showrunners, after they that one scene in season 1 where they more or less decided to concoct that ill-conceived scene where they fucking lynch Prudence, who is part black, and it's like, why are you lynching a black woman on TV? Like, that was just a horrible idea. I think they thought better of it.
Problematic.
Yeah, it's very problematic. And I feel like after that, and after the backlash after that, when black people are like, fuck y'all, we're not watching this series because of what, like, why did you think it was smart to lynch? You know, you're not only, you empower your white female protagonist by having her use magic to lynch other women, one of whom is part black. Like, why did you think that was smart? So I think after that scene, after season 1, they just decided to let Prudence serve nothing but awesomeness. So I think they realized, wow, this just was not a good idea. So in subsequent seasons, they fleshed out characters, even though it was still problematic. At least the character of Prudence Knight, she just got to shine, and we didn't see any more of that kind of fuck shit. Any thoughts, Kat?
Missy! Wow. Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about this. Like, so, but my issue is, why would lynching be okay for anyone? I mean, certainly not for a black woman, half black, quarter black, drop black. But why for anyone would that make sense? Like, unless you contextualize and you're talking about witches back in old school Salem or something, I don't understand why that would be a storyline that would ever be of interest. There's so many other intriguing and unusual ways to kill witches or sorcerers or anything that they could have done. So it seems a bit shallow and stupid to pick that one. So I'm like, you know, sometimes I feel like people kind of step into things and they don't know. But this one, I'm like, you reap what you sow. That's stupid. So, I mean, I think that's my issue with it. It's such an obvious bad decision. Who sat in the room, unless they was high on cocaine, and said, oh, this is a great idea. We should totally go with it. Let's lynch that bitch. Why would that ever make sense? So anyway, I mean, that's the only thought that can come to my mind, is that it just seems too obviously like a poor choice. I'm not really sure why they did that. Uh-oh, Tiffany, we lost you. Okay, I guess she's coming back. But yeah, I guess that's my biggest issue with it, is that there's so many other interesting things that they could have done. Why would they have chosen that avenue to go down? Turn that camera, because don't nobody need to see my sloppy chair. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Sorry, I had a bit of a tech. Basically, I had some stuff falling on me, so
oh boy.
That would have made for an unpleasant experience. So yeah, I didn't like that. But let's see a little bit of. Let's show what Prudence can do. No copyright intended, y'all.
I implore you, again, tell me what the next Eldritch Terror will be, so that we may prepare for it.
Well, you'll find out soon enough. When it's devouring your puke.
Has he told us anything of use yet?
Not a syllable.
You don't have to tell us your secrets, Father. We can pry them from your brain ourselves.
What with your feeble psychic abilities, daughter? You can try.
The lock's safe. That's all. Not to worry, though. There are other ways of opening you up.
So yes, that's just a small clip, but Prudence was basically not to be trifled with. She was a witch. And what I loved about the character after that disastrous lynching scene in season 1, what I came to love about the character, what I came to love about the character is that she was unapologetic in her unfriendliness. Because sometimes as Black women, we're always expected to be but she was unapologetic, and she wasn't afraid to take up space, you know? So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Miss Katrina Cat. Um, and the last
No, I
character,
think you've covered it, honestly. Yeah, no, I will confess I'm now very game to talk about Lovecraft Country.
we're almost there. I promise you. We've got one more character to cover. We've got one more character to cover in Chilling Adventures of
I'll
Sabrina.
finish what's in my heart /
And I
cauldron, and then I
promise
gotta
you
switch to
that is
vodka.
actually
So
next,
okay.
because I know you're chomping at the bit to get at that, and that's on next on the agenda. But we'll glide through this one. The next character, I probably won't even bother playing the
Don't steer
clip
me
because
wrong.
I don't want to be bothered with that horrible accent. But another character black character who stood out in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina was Sky P. Marshall as Mambo Marie, and she played this Haitian Creole priestess. Um, and she was a voodoo priestess who Prudence and Ambrose, who was a black warlock on the series, but we're not talking about the men. We're only talking about the black women. But they meet her. They meet her in I believe it was either season 3 or 4. I don't remember. Where they're trying to track down Prudence's illegitimate father. They go to New Orleans and they meet Mambo Marie, and she gives them a new magic. She introduces them to her kind of magic, um, as a way, and they use it to track down her father so that they can kick his ass. So she comes on the series. She's in the last two series. She's in the last two seasons, season 3 and 4, and despite the cringy Haitian Creole accent, I thought and the whack ass ending they gave her, because you know how white writers do when it comes to black women and witchcraft and things of that nature. I feel like she added some much needed color and otherness to the series, because I feel like Chilling, as despite it being problematic, I feel like as fun as it was to watch, the series did feature a lot of kind of white New England witches, with power that was rooted in patriarchy. Okay, in white patriarchy, they weren't pulling their magic from ancestral magic and root work, how we know it, and all that stuff. It was centered in white Eurocentric magic, and I feel like Marie brought that much needed thing, and she also prompted. She showed up in Greendale, and she also forced, like one of Sabrina's aunts, for instance, to face her own biases, and to make her realize, hey, your magic isn't the only kind of magic that matters, okay? And you're getting your magic from
Wow.
Satan. You're getting your power source. You're pulling your power source from uh, Lucifer, from Satan. And he can take it away, give it to you, and take it away as he sees fit. And it just so happens that Mambo Marie arrives in Greendale at a point where the Dark Lord took their power away, because they were misbehaving and they weren't bowing down the way he wanted them to. So a lot of their magic was rooted in, even though, and like Prudence said in season 1, she made a great point. Where she tells Sabrina, where they're enacting revenge on some teen boys, where she's talking about the Dark Lord, aka Lucifer, the devil. She was like, well, he is a man, isn't he? Basically, so y'all are getting your power from man. Whereas Mama Marie, she's got her own, she doesn't need him for her power. She's a Haitian Creole voodoo priestess. And so she comes there and she forces Sabrina's aunt to face her own biases against other witches. And then what I like about that is that she also helped Prudence tap into a more kind of power that's revolutionary and that's rooted in blackness, because after Prudence came back from New Orleans, she was kind of more into that, and she even told Sabrina's aunt, you know, you should give Marie a chance. Her power comes from somewhere else. And it doesn't always have to be about the kind of power you're used to. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should give her a chance. And Mambo Marie also spills tea to Roz about her gift of cunning. She spills additional tea to Roz about her gift. So she came there and was spilling tea and was shaking things up, and it was awesome. So that's that on that. So I know Kat's anxious to move on to the piece de resistance, and we'll probably end it here. There's some other. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. We'll see, because I might have a bonus. But
well, hello, Queen. I will say what I think is very important to note is, for as much as this is Halloween, and so it is the appropriate time to talk about it. You can talk about scary movies all year round. I think there's so many interesting ones, and I love thrillers and all the rest of it. So I hope that you don't feel limited to only talking about them on such a date as today. I don't think you do. But yeah,
no,
like, if we don't finish it all
not.
today, then I think we should like do it again. Well, or whatever guest that you have. I think that definitely this is a conversation to be continued. So, but yeah, but we need to talk about Lovecraft Country at least.
No, absolutely not. Like I told you, I do horror and all this stuff and all this unpacking and nerdish shit when it comes to horror. I do this stuff year round. So this is not just about Halloween for me. So absolutely, it's just fun to be able to do this in this current context. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So let's move on to the to the Black women of Lovecraft Country, and we're just going to highlight the primary three characters. Let's get into. I feel like, first and foremost, I feel like this series was a tour de force. Okay, and I feel like it was the epitome of activist art. It was very revolutionary. Yes, it was based on a book written by a white man. However, the Black woman showrunner, I feel like she adapted it from that book and she took it to another level. And I feel like it was an ode to Blackness. I feel like it was an ode to Black womanhood. And I feel like it was there, there were so many interesting and shocking and wonderful things that made for great ratings and commentary, which is why I was kind of taken aback when HBO said, "Oh, decided not to renew it."
Yeah, I mean, there's so many problems with why they must have said no, and then they stuck to it. I'm not convinced that they will stay that route, but there's definitely stories we're not hearing. I would love to know the inside scoop about why that would happen, considering how many Emmys these people were nominated for, and just how strong the fan base is for this show. And I came in late to the game, and still there were people screaming and shouting, like, why is this not going to be continued? So it's strange that they're still sticking to their guns and not doing a season 2, but let's see what happens. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. But and I love how the showrunner, don't kill me, I just can't think of her name right now. Hold on, because I just want to give her justice, because you can't
because
talk
if
about,
you have something that is clay. I mean, this guy who wrote it, like, it is what it is. Like, I don't know the original story, so maybe you've actually read the original. But all I can say is this: whatever the base came from, he may have laid the foundation, but what this woman did with it is extraordinary. It's like taking it to that next level and creating this piece, this work that is now seen. It's like Rodin's The Thinker. Like, you have something that has gone from ordinary to extraordinary. So it is not to say that, I mean, I don't know, maybe the original was good, but it is next level what I saw on HBO. So
yeah, and I
was not expecting to be moved at that level by that show. It just did something to me. Amazing.
And I feel like Misha Green, and she's about to move on to something bigger and better. But I do like how, after HBO decided not to renew the series, I do like how she said, "Oh, well, that's too bad, because here is what season 2 was going to look like." And she kind of spilled tea on her Twitter page. But HBO's lost. Too bad, so sad, because I think she's actually moving on to something else. But let's get into the first Black woman of Lovecraft Country. Let's get into Journey Smollett as Letty, or Letitia, but Letty for short. I personally feel like Letitia Lewis, She was stubborn, but I also feel like she was brave. She had a lot of memorable scenes, and I feel like the most memorable ones were her. You can tell Misha Green was very inspired by Beyonce's Lemonade because she adapted that scene from what was it? Hold up, they don't love you. That movie, I think it was called Hold Up. Yeah, the video for Hold Up where Beyonce's
Smashing
goes
up
on
everything with them bats.
Beyonce is Oshun and she goes on a fucking rampage and starts taking a bat to people's cars and things. Clearly, she was inspired by that music video and adapted it for Lovecraft Country, which I highly appreciate because in that one scene where Letty uses after her racist neighbors burns a cross in her yard, she takes the bat and goes out to all their cars and proceeds to lay waste to their windshields and what have you. That was one scene that was stood out to me. Another one that stood out to me is when she stood in that prayer circle. That one gave me chills actually. It's when she her new home, on top of having to deal with racist neighbors, she's also got to deal with the fact that her new home is haunted. So when she gets to the root of why her house is haunted, when she stands in a prayer circle with all of the trapped spirits of Black people who were unethically experimented on by a racist scientist who was the former owner of the home, she stands in that prayer circle chanting to cast his evil racist ass out so that they can be free. That gave me chills. And my other favorite scene from Letty is when she stripped magic from Christine's evil ass and from all other white people. Okay, those were the scenes that stood out to me. I feel like they were some of the most rewindable scenes in a horror series. What about you, Kat?
No, I think you've covered the major ones. I would say I was very interested in Letty's relationship with her sister and how, he or she is she is the favored child and she ends up getting this money and she's given the choice to how she's going to distribute it. So it's very, very interesting that she takes it upon herself to make these choices and decisions rather than kind of sharing that with her sister and being honest with her about how it all later. Oh, well, I didn't do it. That's how mama gave me the money and stuff, like her kind of shirking her responsibility in the situation. And so her dark skinned sister kind of being like, yeah, but you're an adult. So you can kind of step into your own and you could have told me and we could have done this together. Like, just watching, you feel like you're kind of taking a step back in time and you're seeing someone who is not always making the right choices. So she's not the easy win for the heroine, right? Like she doesn't always make the best decisions, but she's trying. I like that she's the imperfect heroine. I like that you don't just immediately say, oh, she's so pretty and she's wonderful, and she's not the simple easy go-to person for like the person who's going to take you through the series. But I appreciate that. I enjoy her, and yeah, I think I like that she's complicated. I like that she's you look at her. I will say, I looked at her. I was like, oh, she's out there in them streets and stuff. But there is legitimately quite an innocence to her, and she is going through things, and people assume so much about her. But like she is not. Like what you see is not exactly what you get when it comes to her. So I really love and appreciate her character and her spirit, her energy. And yeah, no, I was very impressed with, oh Lord, Smollett. What is the child's first name? Journey. So I was very impressed with Journey Smollett's portrayal of this character. I thought she did an amazing job because you buy what she's selling. You believe her. She is enjoyable to watch, right? And yeah, yeah, and I like how she kicks ass. Like she does a great job, whooping monsters and creatures on the show. She's so much stronger than you would expect her to be, with a fragility that you buy. So yeah, I was very impressed with. I can't think of a character I wasn't impressed with. I'll be honest with you, but I thought, like, since we're focusing on Black women, I thought she did such a beautiful job with that character and that role, and gave it depth in a way that I'm not convinced everyone could do. So I think she's one to watch in terms of actresses. So yeah, beautifully done, beautifully portrayed.
Okay, well put. Let's talk about, and this is a perfect segue into the next Black woman character of Lovecraft Country, Wunmi Mosaku as Ruby, who plays Letty's half sister. Right. I'm not even sure where to start with her character. Okay. I feel like her Ruby was amazing. I felt like, she's tired. She's a character that's tired of being marginalized in 1950s anti-Black workforce. In Chicago, she's trying to get a job at a major retail space, at a major retailer, and at every turn, she's being given the runaround. She can't get the job. So she's just fed up as a Black woman in 1950s Chicago. She's fed up with her sister. She's fed up with her circumstances. Like I said, an anti-Black workforce. She's fed up with her circumstances in America, not only as a woman but as a Black person. She's tired. And I feel like, but I will say, she experiences this transformation, and the things that happen, and as the series progresses, the things that happen to Ruby and the way that she empowers herself and gets what she wants. It's very, very, to some people it could be a little unnerving. It's very wonderfully shocking, and I know, a lot of us collectively kind of cringed when she hooked up with William at that bar, because we all knew what was up. But when she hooked up with him at the bar where she was performing, and the way that she goes about becoming empowered, it is a little unnerving, but that's what I love about it, the character, because we all know, when we say she experiences a transformation, we all know what that was. Spoiler alert, and what she does, that's the transformation Ruby undergoes. Even if it's like temporary, she finds temporary ways to get what she needs. And what Ruby does, the type of transformation that Ruby undergoes in the horror genre, that's what's known as body horror, is when people's bodies kind of undergo all these kind of gory, cringy kind of
truly one of the most beautifully disgusting things I have ever seen translated to film. Just so amazingly done in a series. It's probably the best thing I've seen in a series in terms of that. Normally I only see that in film. So really well done.
But that's what's known. But that's what happens in Lovecraft Country with Ruby is what's known as body horror, when the body undergoes like gory, kind of grotesque types of transformations. But that whole arc, her whole story arc, blew my mind.
Yeah, wow. I'm relieved to hear you say that, because it takes a lot to move you, I think, or to surprise you. I mean, it's just such what an education, I think, for many, that like so much of our lives you're instructed to view it through a very white lens. And I think with that character, you see just how much of that is our day to day. Like until she sort of steps through the looking glass, you think But I mean, until she kind of crosses over and has this opportunity to look through a white lens at the world, she's like, God, even to being a mediocre white lady, you just everything in your life you treated like Princess Diana. Well, who would have been the appropriate person for the era? Queen Elizabeth too. Like she was treated like royalty, but she wasn't anything like phenomenal. But she's this extraordinary Black woman, this powerful musician, this singer, this performer, and yet like she's not allowed to sell goods at what essentially is old school Macy's. So, it's just amazing when you watch her character go through this transition and step into whiteness, step into what it is to be with a white man, to live this white life, albeit temporarily. Like, just what does that mean? And you're like, wow, I think how wonderful for a show to get you caught up in your feelings and questioning how you like, what do you think about that? How you're quite conflicted, I think, as a viewer when you're watching that. It pushes you to question, why are you okay with it? Why are you not okay with it? Like, I don't know that there's a right answer on how you are supposed to feel about it. No matter what the showrunner or the writers are trying to tell you, I don't know that when you're watching it happen, that there is a correct answer to what you should feel about it. And that's what I love about it. And that's why I think she's definitely one of the most impressive characters, because she is definitely not in, when you see her arc, you don't quite know what to do with it. And again, one of the 1,000,001 reasons why it frustrates me that there's not a season 2 for this show. Her character is a whole season or 2 on her own. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They really missed the ball in not renewing. And the last character I want to feature for this particular series is Anjanae Ellis's portrayal of Hippolyta. And what I like,
yes,
right? What I love about that is I feel like the character was also multi-layered and as multi-layered and
another
complex
impressive
as
character.
Ruby's. I feel like she portrays this loving wife to her recently deceased husband, and she's a proud mother to her creative daughter. But I feel like once her husband dies or is killed, and then because she has a lot of and before her husband died, because Hippolyta is someone who, because her husband he writes a travel guide for Black people to help them navigate around the country, particularly in 1950s America. And I feel like she wants to be able to, and he has to go on a lot of these adventures and travel. He has to travel a lot to be able to write this travel guide so he can inform Black people. But I feel like Hippolyta wants to be able to accompany her husband and have these kinds of adventures too. But I feel like she never gets to do that. And I feel like before her husband dies, he says, how about you come on a trip with me? But before she's able to do that, he passes. And so I feel like Hippolyta, it's a great character because after she kind of gets to, and what I love about the character is, yes, she's a wife and a mom, but she's also proficient in mathematics and science. And that's what I love about her, because it's almost like she's like, listen, I'm more than just a mom and a wife. I've got a lot of adventure in me. And I love that she gets to finally kind of empower herself, and how they use kind of STEM to help her tap into who she is, and to help her empower herself, and she gets to go on the adventures that she wants to go to. But I love that how she essentially ends up being an essential character, because she saves she ends up being essential to saving the day. And I feel like I love that the viewers get taken on a journey with her when she time travels and and she time travels and goes on this journey of self-discovery. And I also love the adventure she goes on. Very empowering. She gets to dance with Josephine Baker. She gets to go into space. She gets to be an African warrior. It's just really good stuff. I loved it.
No, I think hers is probably the most beautiful interpretation of this idea of the woman interrupted. I think all of them are variations on a theme of that, right? Like this whole women are constantly interrupted or stifled, you know, like told to wait. Your time will come. You'll get to do it, and we don't. Like that, so many eras of life, we don't get to come into our own. And I love that. You know, I remember being pissed. I was like, why is she taking that? What do you call that installation thing she took? I was mad as hell. I'm like, why is she taking that? But the sad truth is she needed it. Like she did these extraordinary things, and it was always she was always capable of doing those things. She was all of those women in the past. She is all of those women in the future. That is, but she's stifled. She's not allowed to be those things in her day to day. And the opportunity, the one chance that she had with this man, this flawed but loving man that she, you know, was with, this opportunity that she was supposed to have, that's taken from her too. So for as annoyed and quite frankly irritated as I was, because I'm a rule follower, I will say. So I was irritated that she took that thing from them folks' house. It was not hers to take, but she took it because when was she ever going to get it? When was she ever going to get to do what she wanted? So I like that this woman interrupted, said, you know what? I'm going to pause on you and I'm going to take what's mine. I'm going to take this chance and go live my best life. Like she did this daring, bold thing and took these opportunities. And it's wonderful to see her discover herself and her strength and step into her power and do the, I'm like, I just thought, what an amazing, like for such a short series, that they gave her an opportunity to share her story. Like they gave this character a voice and a life. And I was just like, how did they squeeze this in? When you're watching the episode, it feels like, to me, it feels like several episodes are happening. You're discovering so much about this person who I think otherwise could be easily overlooked, like what we were talking about with Sabrina and so many other series, right? Like this character it was such a missed opportunity for other people, but in this series, you discover how extraordinary she is, and she truly, like, that was a delight. That was, I think you told me you figured that would be my favorite episode, and absolutely you were right. Like, like I'm almost breathless as I think about it, because she is the I'm such a traveler and I have such a passion for it, but she is the quintessential traveler. She is traveling through space and time, and always the other, always the outsider, but each time she's the outsider, she is exactly where she needs to be at that moment. It's just such a beautifully written episode, and such an amazing character. I'm thoroughly impressed that they were able to fit that much in such a small space of time. So yeah, I get too excited when I think about that show.
I love how you relate it to her, with you being a traveler and with her time travel. I love that. I have a couple more people on the list, and I hate to skip around, but see, that's
we
why
should do a petition for Lovecraft Country. I'm in agreement. I think there's one already out there. We should join in.
I agree. I have a couple more people on the list, but you know what? We've been on here for a hot minute. That's why y'all got to go to www. Here, hold on a second.
Put it up there so people can see.
Hold on a second.
And make sure to post the blog. The people need to see the blog post. It's great. Really exciting and fun. You have so many really interesting articles on the blog. And you should make sure people know about, I guess if they're on this, that they already know about your YouTube. So yeah, there's so many great videos.
That's why I gotta go to www.coffeerhetoric.com. Not only read the current list that I have, but check out the one I did back in 2017, and just follow the tags. If you follow the tags, you'll find the old one too. So I had a couple more on the list, but here's where I'm going to end it, and this is a repeat, because I did this one last time, and I hate to leave off this one in particular, but go to my blog and read it, and you can read all of the dynamic Black women, um, that I featured in 2021 list, and check out my one from like 2017. But in any event, here's where I'm going to end it, because I feel like I would be doing a disservice, and I'm going to mention her character every chance I get when I do these lists. I don't care how many times I featured her. Um, Cynthia Bond in the 1990s horror film classic, what's otherwise known as, and you can tell that the writer, director, and the person who stars in it was influenced by Spencer Williams, aka Amos and Andy, who was in Amos and Andy, but people don't know he was a prolific director. And you can tell that the person that did Death by Temptation was inspired by what's known as race films, like these allegories. Here, in fact, this is what a race film is, because I took the time to upload it on a clip on here, but here is what a race film is. It's like these allegories done by Spencer Williams. They're like allegories kind of rooted in the Black church and religion and stuff. So looking at this,
that road leads to the highway of life. There, at the crossroads, you will find that which you seek. The road to the right leads to happiness and eternal life. The road to the left.
Yeah, so that's like an example of I'm sorry. That's a Spencer Williams film. And so like race films were built on these lessons and things of that nature. And you can tell that James Bond wrote, directed, and stars. No relation to Cynthia Bond.
James Bond the Third.
James Bond the Third. That's his name, James Bond the Third. Absolutely a Universal T with Marie. Yup, they had race films. And check out Spencer Williams. You can actually see some of his films on YouTube for free 99. And a lot of them are religious allegories. So you can tell that James Bond III was influenced by that kind of filmmaking. And so Death by Temptation is definitely an allegory. It's definitely rooted in the race films of yore. And I feel like Cynthia Bond played the hell out of that demonic.
You're gonna show a clip because I need Universal T with Marie to see the claws on girl. Like I need her to know exactly who you speak of.
I probably didn't. Hold on. Give me one. I thought I had a clip on here. I don't know if
I have to give you a thumbs down if you don't show her, but you know.
Hold on. I could have swore. Oh yeah, I do have a clip. Give me a second.
Good.
I just need to get it on the back end. But while I upload it on the back end, I feel like she did an amazing job portraying oh, it's too long. Whatever.
But you can't. Okay. Well, maybe
this is so weird. Well, hold on.
Is there a way to show just a picture of her? I just want people to see her talent. She's such an incredible.
No, I'll show a clip. I'll show a clip, but unfortunately, I can't. I thought you said that you could.
It's super fun. Death, DEF by Temptation. Super fun. Very much a film of its era. Like it's what 1990, 91. Kadeem Hardison looked good. I don't remember him looking so good in Different World, but she does a great job. But anyway, go on, Tiffy.
Now that's holy water that's just been blessed.
On. My bad. Well, I did.
Why are you gonna show Skippy's little bad, little bad haircut?
But before we play the clip, what I want to say about this character is I think Cynthia Bond did an amazing job portraying this character. And I feel like she plays a demonic, she's basically the temptation of the film. The film is basically like a fight a battle between good and evil. This film was done in the 1990s. It's got a lot of great cameos. You've got Sam L. Jackson, you've got Bill Nunn, you've got Kadeem Hardison, you've got Eric Dickerson as cinematographer, you've got Melba Moore, Freddie Jack. When I say there are just like a lot of great cameos in this movie, trust me on this. And I feel like what I love about this film is it's very rooted in the Black church. And I feel like the premise of the movie is about this. I'll try to be as quick as I can. It's about this young man. He's basically, I guess he would be described as what's known in the Black church as the quote unquote the anointed, because his father was a great preacher, and his father and his mother gets taken down by this evil succubus. And so he's like the anointed, and he's meant to be this also this great preacher. And during his divinity
What's a succubus?
studies, huh?
What's a succubus?
Say what?
I mean, I know, but I think it's good for you to explain.
A succubus, and the historical definition of a succubus is like kind of like a female kind of demon who comes into the night and kind of uses her sexuality to breathe the life out of people, mostly men, but people too. It could be women too. But basically, they can suck the life out of people and drain.
Y'all, you
them.
not gonna see a better succubus
Similar-
than Cynthia. Homegirl does it and does it right.
But similar to a vampire, similar, but it's basically like a demon or a female demon. And the male version of a succubus would be called an incubus. It's kind of like a sex demon, basically. It's a sex demon. And I feel like, well, since you asked, so now I'm about to nerd out on you in a second, but just for a second. And I feel like in history, so basically a succubus is like a sex demon. And I feel like a lot of the times people throughout history would use succubuses, like this tales of a succubus, as excuses because they were sexually repressed, or because they would do shit that they were ashamed of. They were ashamed of their own sexuality and of expressing sexuality. So a lot of them would use like the succubus, the myth of the succubus, the kind of they would scapegoat that to help explain away their own kind of sexual deviancy and or repression. You get what I'm saying? So essentially, that's what it's like a sex demon. A succubus is a female sex demon, and an incubus is a male sex demon. And they kind of they suck up the life. They come in through the night and use sexuality and have sex and suck their victims dry, basically. But Cynthia Bond, she plays a sex demon. She's a succubus, and she goes
devil out there, bro.
She goes into a hole in the wall bar. That's where she finds her prey, and she mostly preys on trash men, like philanderers and men who gaslight. Basically, she mostly preys on trash, garbage men.
And Cynthia Bond does an extraordinary job of making you cheer for the villain. You want her to win. You want her to eat them dudes.
That's hilarious. And I feel like, and I love revisiting this film because I also feel like this movie, like if you're looking at it through a 2021 Black feminist lens, oh, sorry.
Girl, get out of here.
I love this song.
This film is too much. I love her.
I love this. Listen, I feel like her character, even though she was supposed to be the villain, I look at her as an anti-hero too, because I feel like I'm going to mimic what I said when I featured her in 2017. I was saying that I feel like her portrayal, I feel like she's an interesting character because I feel like when looking at this also through a Black feminist lens, not only then, but in 2021, I feel like this would be considered a kind of mildly conservative film to kind of keep men on a straight and narrow, like avoid those evil women, to keep you on a straight and narrow, because I notice how temptation is kind of presented in the form of Black female sexuality. that the evil is the Black female sexuality. I find that interesting. That's why you can't help but root for Temptation, because she's also taking out men who mean no good
Sorry
to
as
women.
hell. They're nasty and sorry, and now she's supposed to be the one leading them astray. I'm like, she was barely sitting there looking at him. Yeah, play this clip. I need homegirl to know. Don't feel bad about that comment. You were right. But anyway, play this clip.
I want you to put this in her drink. Now, that's holy water that's just been blessed. Put it in the drink and get out of there, okay? Thank you. Yo, relax, Kay. This ain't 3 tough cookies. House is buying.
Why, thank you.
Standing there with that old dry Jerry curl, looking stupid.
That was known as
Look, when she drinks that holy water, she's gonna start slobbering and farting and gagging and shit.
Bill Nunn ad-lib. Came over and right when in the car and
You put the shovel in my trunk, right?
Yeah. You ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be, man. Let's knock this shit out and get over with.
Why are you standing there looking stupid? That's why she ought to
I love how this backfired on me.
Now your soul can rest in peace.
It backfired on me.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Nope. Yeah.
You fools. You can run, but you cannot hide. You will now fight the beasts.
Where's the fucking car, man?
Meryl Streep ain't got nothing on that hoe. Oh my God.
That was amazing. I love how that backfired on them. Okay. But that movie, I had to end on that.
The first time a bottle blows up, I'm out. When you talk about shovel, where was the shovel? They ain't got no shovel in their hands when they go up in there. They got that stupid half-wit machete. But I'm like, and it's not even a good one. Yeah, girl, it's good. You will enjoy it. I will be rewatching that before this week is done. Before my week-long free trial on Shudder TV is over, I'll be rewatching that. It is so impressively good. Like, and she does such a great job. Like, you enjoy watching her be the villain, but you actually, like, genuinely, you're rooting for her. I certainly was. Like, you're rooting for her to eat up all these dudes. I want the demon to win. Death by Temptation is the name of the movie. DEF by Temptation. Yeah, put it in there. Like, it's so much fun. It is well worth it. I would pay to watch it. It's good. It's good. And like I said, I was not a huge fan of. I've always enjoyed Kadeem Hardison, but I don't know. I was like, now I see why everybody thought he was so hot back in the 90s. I did not, but he would look good in that movie.
But yeah, some things gonna happen to him, so you need to watch that. It's fun.
Yeah, Death by Temptation. And I feel like that's the perfect note to end on. Anytime I do these lists, I'm always going to feature Cynthia Bond as Temptation because I
Absolutely.
just thought I always find it interesting that Temptation was written in the form of a fully autonomous black woman. You know what I'm saying? And you know
Yeah.
who used her sexual, but I thought it was interesting. So honestly, like you said, you can't help but root for her, particularly the types of men she was preying on at that bar. Seriously, if you can watch this movie, watch it. You won't regret it.
No,
You will not
she
regret it.
does such a great job. She's very engaging and interesting. I mean, yeah, she's beautiful. She's very easy on the eyes, but she's such a fun, like she has fun with the role, and you can tell. Like you can tell she's kind of laughing at the audience and stuff. She's like, I'm just gonna take this to the next level. You can tell she's enjoying herself. And I don't know that you always feel like that when you watch someone playing an evil character, right? So yeah, she's a joy to watch devour men on screen. You got to watch that, girl. It's good. It's fun.
And on that note, listen, this was fun. I don't care if
Yes.
listen, if a lot of this was very fun. I'm glad I got to do this. I would like to do more of this. And not just because it's Halloween, but I definitely want to do more of these types of live streams unpacking horror films and how relevant they are to modern day, not even just modern day, but just to society in general and to the cult of personality. This was very fun. This was a great Halloween. It was fun to drink out of my vampire goblet, and to drink
No
a
more
wine
blood.
called the witching
No more
to drink
blood.
the witching hour. Here, let me drink the last drop. Okay. And this was amazing. And Universal Tea with Marie, girl, thank you
We
so much
celebrate you. We thank you.
for hanging in there with us. We love it. And we will definitely be back. This was a fun conversation. And we want to have more of these types of situations.
Yes.
But on that note, make sure you go over to www.coffeerhetoric.com to check out the latest blog post where I feature the most dynamic black women in horror. And Kat, tell people where they can find you on YouTube.
Please come and find me on the Cat Young channel, where I talk about travel, do's and don'ts, helpful tips. Soon you will be seeing travel vlogs. Tiffany and I will be doing a live together to talk about travel and some of the trips that we've done together, some that we plan to do. But yeah, please come check me out on the Cat Young channel. Yeah, hopefully I will be here to check you out again soon. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and if you're going to take travel advice from somebody, because I did talk some trash on YouTube in my first YouTube video about this. Do not take travel advice from scamming ass influencers. If there's anybody you're going to take travel advice from, take it from Kat. Trust me on this. She knows everything. She will have you enjoying the finer things of travel. I speak from experience. She'll have you setting up in lounges. She'll have you sitting up in lounges, sipping champagne. I'm telling you, if you're going to take travel advice from someone, take it from someone who's not just sitting there posturing for Instagram and taking. This is someone who kind of does the research and enmeshes herself in the culture where she's traveling to. She's a she's a very awesome repository of information when it comes to travel. So trust me on this. So go to the Cat Young channel, check her out. And I love that you came here and joined me as part of this discussion. And I love that I'm sorry, I'm reading okay, alrighty. So on that note, thank you so much, Universal Tea with Marie.
Yay!
this was so fun, and I want to come back and do more of these kinds of discussions. It does not
More
have
to come.
be just for Halloween. So
No.
on that note, bye. Happy
Bye.
Halloween.